great music scene here. It's like a good vibe.
There's nothing that ever comes to the island like where I'm at. Anytime I've ever seen anything, I had to like go to Montreal because that's the closest center where any concerts end up.
All right,
Montreal.
if you want to take over anytime, go ahead.
We're back, but we're missing some people. So feel free to keep talking, and I think people will join, and we can get things underway once we have some more people here.
Okay, sounds good. We'll take over for now, and then once everyone gets in.
Go for it.
Adam, we can't hear you, Adam.
There we go. Hey, yeah, just making sure my mic's working.
Cool. Yeah, I like the view from your place. It looks like Christmas already.
Oh, it's always Christmas here.
Hey, Adieu. Good to see you.
Adieu, how you doing?
Another fellow
Been
Malaysian.
too long, man.
Jack, good morning.
Kita cakap dalam Melayu lah. Dan semua orang tak faham.
So, how many of you actually have a Strandberg guitar? Am I the odd one out?
I don't own it, but I have it for the time being. I had the neck true last week. I might have something else next week.
That's really cool.
Yeah, whatever gets the tones for recording, man.
Jack, is that a beer?
Huh?
Is that a beer you're drinking? Isn't it like 8 a.m.?
Yeah, Jack, we still can't hear you. I don't know what's wrong with your mic. Maybe
Jack,
you haven't turned
we
up
don't
the
have
volume.
we don't have audio.
Nope, we don't hear. Maybe the phantom power's on. Nope, we're still not hearing you. Keep going. We'll tell you when your mic is on.
Now?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah. Oh yeah. There you
Perfect.
go.
Perfect.
2 seconds.
Getting a little feedback.
Yeah, somebody's on speakers.
Yeah, there's some.
How about now?
Oh,
Yes.
lovely.
Anything?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh,
You're good.
You've got me now.
Yep.
Yes.
Sweet.
Connor has joined us.
Welcome, Connor.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up, man?
I'm not too
Right.
bad.
Cool. Good
Awesome.
morning.
Morning, Ola. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad.
Good, good.
I think let's get this show on the road. Last night we were way more people, and we did like a speed dating thing where I would spotlight different people and they could ask people questions. But let's all just switch to gallery view because there's not more people here than that we can see each other, and then we can do like the speed dating thing again. But I will just ask one person to ask another person a question, and then we can like freeform it after that. So I'm going to begin at my top left, which is Plini. You ask Cyan something interesting and educational.
Oh, I'm trying to. There you are. Interesting and educational. What do I have to ask you? Firstly, how are you? It feels like it's been too long.
Yeah, man, it's been a minute. It's great to see you. It's definitely been too long.
You're in Toronto, right?
Yeah, Toronto.
What have you been up to? I guess that's not such an educational question, but it's a curiosity.
It's interesting. The last book I bought before lockdown wound up being Zen and the Art of Simple Living, and the irony was not lost on me. So with everything shutting down, so I've been trying to read a lot of that, spending a lot of time cooking, photography, and I think revisiting just the instrument, using the time to practice and working on a lot of collabs, writing stuff. It's been busy, even though it's been like living in the box. What about you?
So my real question is, from the book, what's like the number one or maybe top three things that you've learned and applied to your current existence?
One is, I think, one that gets repeated a lot about living in the present, because we can't really control or affect our future. And the past is sometimes not worth ruminating on. And it's simple, but it bears repeating that, to really absorb everything in the present moment, be observant, just don't expect anything out of the moment, just be with it. Another is, I think, just not putting as much stock on material objects. And the last one is about keeping clutter and keeping your desk free. And I don't always live up to that one. That's the tough one. But the three top ones that stood out are unfortunately the most basic and like often repeated ones, but they do wind up being the most useful and effective, especially the one about presence, because even for jamming and playing, it's great.
Just an amendment to the second one. I think you can make a concession for buying a new Strandberg in terms of the amount of stuff that you have.
I feel you there. Got a couple of them sitting there.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Cyan, ask Alan Schrader something.
Alan, what's a question that you wish would get asked at these things that doesn't often get asked? We hear lots of stuff about technique, creativity, and composition, but what do you feel should get asked?
That was actually going to be my question. So I think I'm also looking for the answer to that question because I kind of want to know what other people think there. But I feel like through the years, I've always kind of had these kind of questions pop into my head of like, that would be a really interesting thing to ask somebody. But then I kind of forget it. And then, time goes by and I forget to ask it. So that's a terrible answer to your question. But I also kind of want to know the answer to it. So.
Well, Alan, here's your opportunity to ask that question that never gets asked to Andy Gregory.
We're just going to pass it right on down. Andy, how's it going?
Hey, dude. I think I saw you like 6 hours ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I'll just go ahead and put in the plug. Andy shared his music on here a little while ago. He's got it up on Spotify, and it's killer. So everybody should go check it out. Andy Gregory.
All right.
Really good stuff.
That's amazing. I didn't have to do it myself that time. That would have been really awkward.
Yeah. So the question I'm going to ask you is, what was the last time that you had just like a mind-blowing epiphany with guitar? Like you overcame a plateau or a hurdle or something and you said, yes, I finally got it.
I guess probably something like a lesson with Charlie Griffiths about sort of like permutating through an arpeggio or like repositioning pentatonics. So it's like that easy to use a shape and move the shape around, and you can sort of force a really cool harmony or whatever. But it only really works if you get it in a context where it sort of fits. So I guess using a sort of forceful way into it, like just setting up like a loop on say like B flat minor 7, and then just trying to like repurpose a pentatonic, or using this arpeggio thing, either that or working as hard as I can on phrasing and like Plini was saying before, vibrato. Particularly for me, like circular and like a sort of cello vibrato that you hear like the fusion guys like Holdsworth use or something. So I'd probably say that.
Very cool.
Cool question.
Awesome. Andy, you can ask Joshua Chin something.
Joshua Chin.
Wave, Joshua. Make yourself known.
I'm going to make this a two-part question. Question one, how much coffee have you had so far? And question two, how are you liking the Sarah Longfield model?
Well, I've had about 60 grams of beans, which is about 4 cups. And that should take me to around 200 milligrams of caffeine. And the Sarah Longfield model is actually surprisingly comfortable. Yeah. I mean, it's convenient that it's already named, so I can just call it Sarah all the time. You know. But aside from that, after playing the Boden Metal Neck True, the Boden Fusion Neck True, as well as the Classic and the LX signature model, coming to this actually felt like home, because I like the harmonics that I get out of the ebony fretboard. It's something that very few people talk about, but I notice it, and in every guitar I've had with an ebony fretboard, I've noticed that it has certain harmonics that are not present in any other type of fretboard. And despite the fact that people say basswood might be a cheap wood, you know, I find that this sounds great and plays well.
Sick.
Very nice. Well, Joshua, ask James Harrell something.
Okay, James. Firstly, what time is it there? And secondly, how has your playing progressed this year? Whether positively or negatively, it's fine. No one's judging you.
Well, it's a little after 1 here in Kansas City, and unfortunately, I had some neck issues earlier this year, and so I lost the feeling in my left hand pinky and ring finger, and I haven't been able to play for about 6 months. So that's been a pretty big negative, especially in the quarantine. But before that, I was really, really progressing nicely.
All right, James, ask Ali Omasan, sorry for the pronunciation. Ask question.
What was the guitar song or player who made you want to start playing guitar?
Made me want to start playing. I think Stationary Traveler was one of the first songs that I tried to make out. Like Andy Latimer was one of my heroes when I was little. So him.
Cool, nice and quick. Ali, you can ask Kurt a question.
Kurt. Yeah. Oh, I see.
Ali.
Yeah. Let's see. What has been the most inspiring thing that happened to you lately? Like, what has inspired to make music?
Well, speaking from a very amateur level, I mean that wholeheartedly, but like with a lot of enthusiasm. The best way that I can put this is that like a lot of what I try to come up with, even when I'm like trying to come up with a riff, is I don't have a lot of equipment. A lot of this is more or less impromptu. It's in my head, and I have a lot of trouble applying it to the guitar, despite the fact that I can hear exactly how it's going in my head, because I don't have like a forefront knowledge of theory or years of experience to back up how to apply what I'm thinking. But one of the more inspirational things that's happened lately is I've been trying to understand theory through about 1,000 different YouTube videos of the same thing being told to me in 5 different ways, on just more or less how to communicate what expression I'm trying to make. And that can go from anywhere of like, oh, repeat the same thing, but change the root note, or, oh, hey, you're playing an A harmonic minor. Why don't you like go ahead and shift that down to like, I don't know, like C Ionian or something like that. I think that's the one that follows it in key. And just understanding how to be a little bit more expressive, and it's kind of made it more fun and given me more of an ability to kind of like make the guitar say what I'm hearing in my head. And that's probably been the most inspirational thing so far.
Brilliant. Kurt, ask Adam Rafowitz something.
How's it going?
Hello again, Kurt. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, man. Yeah.
Okay, rather than like a technical question or anything on guitar, because I probably won't get a chance to ask something a little bit more obscure. If you had to go and more or less give somebody an album or a specific song that was more representative of like how you feel intrinsically about how you feel about music, what would be your go-to for that?
So there was one song that made a big impact on me. It really stuck out to me back when I was in school at Berkeley. And it's a song by the Yellow Jackets. Are you familiar? Or Yellow Jackets?
I'm not.
They're definitely a fusion group worth checking out. They have a song called The Tortoise and the Hare. They have a live version, and then they have a studio version, which is a little slower. And that song just had a lot of emotional impact to me. I would definitely recommend checking out. I'd pull it up if it wouldn't take me 5 minutes, you know. Yeah, that's definitely a song that meant a lot to me. I mean, as far as albums, the 16 Men of Tain by Alan Holdsworth had a big impact on me as a guitarist and musician because, you know, Alan is just so out there with his playing. He's incredible, or was incredible, unfortunately. Yeah.
Awesome answer.
All right, Adam, ask Simon Girard something.
Simon, how you doing? It's been too long, man.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm good. You know, I'm in my house, as many of us are. But you know, we have our guitars, so we're lucky in that regard.
Exactly. On my side, I'm good too. It's 2 a.m. here, so kind of like waking up a little bit. But yeah, it's good. I've been working on many projects besides Beyond Creation.
Yeah, photography, right, as well. Kind of different creative projects.
Yeah, exactly. And I started to do also epoxy table with wood. Pretty fun.
I saw that too. Very cool. Yeah, I guess a good question relating to that is, how do I phrase it? Do you believe all the different art forms you practice have a similar emotional driver, would you say? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, it's really weird how arts can impact ourselves without even thinking about it. But like I found out because before getting into, I studied in classical guitar. And before getting in there, I was about to study woodworking. And I really found interesting everything with like getting the nature, some new life and something very like creative or personal. Like you put, I don't know, colors and other stuff to it that makes it very unique. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know, creating something that speaks about yourself, and it's very amazing. And yeah, it's been awesome. A weird couple of months, but definitely worth the time and like trying out new stuff. And yeah.
Awesome. Oh, follow-up question. Have you ever built your own guitar, or do you plan to try that someday?
Oh, no, never. It's too, yeah. These are just so gorgeous and so perfect. I mean, and creating, like, building guitars is just so, like, I don't know. You need to be really precise with everything. I'm just doing tables. It's just like...
I feel it. We'll leave it to the experts, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
All right, Simon.
Jump in there. Just
ask
a moment.
Eddie Rodriguez something.
Yeah, so let me jump in there just a moment. I've actually built guitars before, and the fact that I'm willing to pay for Ola's guitars shows how amazing it is.
Thanks, Joshua. All right, Simon, ask Eddie Rodriguez something.
Hey Eddie, how you doing, man?
Hey Simon, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So yeah, what gets you into playing guitar or just music at first?
Oh man, there's a lot, right? So before, I mean, this actually I started really committing to music maybe about 9 months ago. I took about like an 8 year hiatus where I was just kind of like noodling here and there, and I was like, I guess I'm never gonna get any better. It is what it is. Then I started with them. Like I kind of miss really practicing and putting in the time. And then like I didn't discover guys like Plini or Jack Gardiner until like about a year and a half ago, and like that blew my mind. And then I saw like Guthrie Goldman's Larry Carlton video,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, my ears just went
Really?
there. And I'm like, I must try to learn this, and I've just been grinding hard ever since.
Nice. Yeah, that's really crazy. Like to found out about new artists that you never heard before, and like that really reach you, and you're like, whoa, that's like creating some stuff that I don't know emotionally vehicles something like new to you. It's very awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like what Pliny was talking about earlier regarding social media, you know, you see, I mean, you follow the people that you enjoy listening to, and they'll tag someone else, and then you go into their Instagram, you're like, holy crap, and you just end up in a rabbit hole, right, of like music, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right on.
Eddie, ask Dave
Yes, sir.
Dunsire something.
I'm sorry, who?
Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Dunsire.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Yeah, there we go. I am
Perfect.
doing. Oh, cool. You hear me? Awesome.
Yes, sir. So Dave, if you can go back in time and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give, or what would you tell yourself to do or not do?
As somebody who's made a lot of mistakes as a younger person, I don't know if I'd really change anything. I got to travel all around the world and play music, and I really love doing that. I would probably say maybe just committing to finishing projects on time would be something that my younger self would and current self could probably do better. But yeah, maybe just working on working on finishing things faster. But now I think we all have a lot more time to.
Right. For sure.
All right, fantastic. Dave, ask Adieu something.
Adieu. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man.
First
How
off,
are you doing? Yeah.
I'm sleepy and good. What time is it where you are right now?
3:24 p.m. afternoon.
Okay, that's way earlier, but it's here. What's been something new that you've implemented into your routine, especially with 2020, that's helped kind of drive you? Have you kind of found new things to kind of keep your mind active? Like any new changes?
Are you talking about guitar or like just in general?
Anything.
You mean just to keep up with like being in the house all the time?
Yeah. Any new like hobbies or interests that you've kind of used to, keep yourself engaged?
Hobbies. More like, I just like trying to make sure I structure the day so it doesn't like end up being like this, overwhelming thing where it's just the same thing every day. So like I have like, lessons at this time, and like try to write at this time, and I have like just more like trying to get more of a schedule going, which is something I didn't really have before. So, and plus we've kind of been like extended on the lockdown thing, so it's almost been the whole year. So yeah, so pretty much that.
Yeah, I have a few friends in Singapore, and they said that it's. I mean, I live in Indiana, which is probably one of the more relaxed states in the United States. So polar opposites, but structure is really good. structure helps definitely.
Well, I do ask Jack Gardiner something.
Hey man.
Yo, dude, how are you doing?
What should I ask Jack, man? That I haven't asked you already. Who would you like to? Because I saw that you did that thing with Owain.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you can talk about this, but like, who would you like to collaborate with in the future? Like for your next stuff.
Do you know? I think I can. I think I can just say it here, but like the next stuff is already planned with Owain already. But it's just a case of when. I think I'm waiting. I don't know what I can say here, but I'm waiting on him to finish something, and then we should. I mean, Corona restrictions permitting, I think we're gonna just meet up and do it together if we can in person, you know, because it'll just make things that little bit quicker, I think, and as well, like it'll be different for both of us in the sense that we can, I guess, both be in the same room. It's not 6-hour Skype calls anymore, you know. But who else would I like to work with? Do you know? I don't know. I love the guys from Dirty Loops. Any of them would be insane. I think like what's he called, Jonah Nielsen, the keyboard player. I love keyboard players when I'm working with them just because it's a totally different way of approaching harmony and things like that. Like it seems much easier for them to have a construct in their mind of where they want things to go than say we have on guitar. I think we're a little bit more limited in that sense, but yeah, maybe one of them. In terms of playing, I don't know who. There's so many guys I'd love to jam with and things like that, you know. Yeah, I can't even think off the top of my head. Sorry, it's like 8 a.m. here. So, but yeah, man, I think one of the dudes from Dirty Loops, that would be nice.
All right, Jack, ask Christian Edward something.
Christian, where are you? I can see you down there, man. How you doing, man?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, yeah. Have you developed any weird rituals during the lockdown? Is there something that you do every day that you didn't do before?
I guess it's funny. I guess something weird that I started doing at one point was really, I guess, treating each day as if it was a normal day. So really like waking up early, shower, getting my breakfast, and not really just doing the I guess the lazy lockdown, like working from home in my pajamas. So I just started treating each day like, oh, let's just pretend I'm going to work or et cetera, which is weird, you know, doing normal things as something that's unusual at this point.
Mm-hmm. Keeping a routine's hard, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. That's the thing. I think if you can find something that you can ground yourself with, that's half of the battle at the minute, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. I also just got myself an espresso machine, so I've been making espressos like
Are you flying?
every single day. So yeah.
Nice.
All right, Christian, ask Emmanuel Puskar something.
Hey, Emmanuel, how are you?
Hello.
Hey.
Fine, you?
Good. I guess my question for you is, when you practice, I guess I'll give you two questions. One light question, one more music related.
Okay.
I guess the light question is, what's the first concert you ever went to? And I guess music related, do you have a specific practice routine that you follow? Whether it is, you know, learn music from someone else or theory. What are your thoughts on how you look at practice?
Okay. For my first concert, I think it was Scorpions. And I think it was my first big concert. And it was really cool. Yeah. And for your second question, I'm mostly all over the place. I mean, I try doing some theory, some scales and all that, but yeah, nothing really specific. It's mostly I just sit down and, you know, play around.
Gotcha. Thanks.
All right, Emmanuel, ask Connor Kaminski something.
Hello.
Hey, dude, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all, mate.
Okay. What's your favorite meme?
Oh man, I'm just searching my mind right now of all of the memes. You'll have to allow me a second. It's
Yeah, sure.
7:30 in the morning in UK. So, I really like that one. I don't know. The memes have names. I'm not sure, but the one where it's like the brain cells that like the brain gets bigger with each statement that you read, and it's like the first one will be like play guitar, and then the last one will be like get a Strandberg, because it's like the most insane one. That one's pretty good. And there was that one for a while where there was like that cat and that woman that was going around. I don't know. I could probably talk about memes. Sorry, you're probably looking for a more
No,
intelligent answer.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, awesome. Awesome.
Cool.
All right, Connor, you can ask Michael Ashoff something.
Michael, where are you, dude? Hang on. Oh, there you are. Hey, dude, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. So my question for you was, let me try to phrase this well. If you could go back to when you were like a child, and you could speak to yourself as you are now, what would be like the 3 essential albums you'd tell yourself to listen to? Like maybe albums that you didn't listen to early enough, or like maybe albums that you know would be super important, but you just like at the time when you were a child, you know, like what 3 albums like would shape your guitar or like your music life that you would want to listen to earlier?
Let's see. Anything by Mike Patton, probably, I would say, starting right there.
Nice.
Probably more recently, I like probably Kill or Be Killed, Greg Puciato, and basically the guys with Max Calvadera. Pretty good stuff. Trying to think of what else I've been listening to recently. That was, but that stuff's obviously not available then. But I think, for me, like the first album, I mean, Detroit Rock City. I mean, I think about that stuff. Kiss all the way. Ace Frehley was when I was growing up. And that's probably what kicked it for me. I always just thought about and that really led into all kinds of different exposures to like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and you name it just goes off the rocks. But I've always been a guitarist. Ever since like I was a little kid, as I was 13, I picked up my first guitar. I still have my first acoustic and electrics, and I love them.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. I just I think what's great about Strandberg is that like it gives you an option to move forward and like God, just they're so easy to play and they let you be so expressive. And I feel like it's just like when you play them, they allow you to express yourself without being limited by the actual physical motions of the guitar. So when I think about like heavy guitar like a Les Paul or something like that, that's gonna you're gonna be like this after about 10 years. So ultimately, I think it is like Plini, I would say he's a great person to, and I actually have his guitar in front of me right now, and I want to say like where do you go from here ultimately? I mean, I'd love to hear that, but just great stuff. Awesome things are happening. When I was growing up, we didn't have these kinds of things, and to be part of this is just wonderful because the ergonomics, the physics of it all. Just having the ability, like all the expansions of the True Temperament, and obviously the new pickup sound. I'm looking forward to hearing those. So, just it's great, to hear about all the the things that you could have known when you were a kid, but it was available now to you. That you guys are lucky. You really are really fortunate to have a lot of this. We didn't have YouTube when we were kids, and we didn't have a lot of that stuff. We were just kind of hacking away, and trying to make it work and have a good time. But really, it was just all about that, just having a good time, playing guitar, and just hanging out with friends.
Yeah, I know you mentioned Pink Floyd. I have to admit, I've never really listened to Pink Floyd until really recently, which is probably like people, I don't know, people are like, what? But yeah, like if I could go back and tell myself to, because I listened to Dream Theater when I was growing up and stuff, but if I could tell myself to listen to Pink Floyd, because I think they evoke, it's not like so proggy anymore. It's more just like, sure it is like in the concept, but like some of the emotions and like the grooves that they like, that they can get. And like I listened to Dark Side of the Moon like for the first time ever, like last week, in it like from start to back. So yeah, but nice, man. Cool.
No, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the question. It's an interesting context because you guys have so much, and it's like it seems like you guys are inundated with so much music, and really we had so little. So it was like, for us, it was like, when we got something like Pink Floyd, it was like amazing, and I know for you guys it's a lot, and really that kind of begs the question of, what do we do? Where do we go from here? How do you be expressive? That's one of my biggest questions to a lot of people is what turns you on? What makes you want to play? Some days you're down to drugs and you're just like, oh God, what am I gonna do? But you just do it, and then bam, right, you're right there again, playing and having a good time. So the guitar does that for me, and I'm glad to see it does it for you guys too. So it's good to see you guys, and definitely be here tonight.
Cool. Well, Michael, it's your turn to ask a question to Paul Masvidal. Paul, so good to see you.
Paul. So what is it what really draws you to Strandbergs? What are you looking forward to in the future Strandbergs, and also, the current models that are available?
Paul, you're on mute still.
There we go.
Yes.
Can you hear me? What draws me? Hi, what's your name that asked the question?
Oh, Michael.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Michael.
How are you?
Strandberg. Well, I was a Steinberger dude since the early 90s, and even before that, but really got my first official one in the early 90s. So I was always fascinated with the headless guitars, and curious about other headless guitar developers. It seemed like Steinberger was leading the pack for a long time. And then when Ned sold the company to Gibson, things kind of just didn't hold to the same standard as they held back in the day. They just let go. There wasn't that attention to detail. And I was introduced to Ola actually via Tosin. And I just remember seeing the guitars first and aesthetically being blown away. They were just so beautiful and futuristic and cool. And then when I actually played one, it was just like a dream scenario, where everything came together, and it was like where Steinberger would have gone had they kept going, kind of thing. He took that and went even further and pushed the envelope. And then, so I was just moved by everything, actually, from the like you mentioned, the ergonomics, the whole way that it sat. I've always liked smaller, more compact guitars. And obviously just the aesthetics were beautiful. This unusual, the early days of the Endure neck, which were quite a bit fatter, it was amazing still, I don't even, again, the feeling of playing a guitar that feels so natural from the start. Usually instruments take time to kind of get into your body, at least for me. And Strandberg, I think it was pretty instantaneous, where I knew I could write music and play one and feel comfortable. It was right there from the moment I first played one. It was, it was a love affair from love at first sight and touch.
Nice.
Ola's he's incredible, a true mastermind luthier, truly.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Paul. Paul, ask Christine something.
Christine, where are you? Talk for a second, because my setting is going by whoever's speaking, so okay. I only see whoever's actually speaking.
Hello, how are you?
I don't see you.
Can you switch to gallery view, Paul?
Well, I'm on my phone. Let's see here. Where are you?
Don't worry about it. Here's Christine.
Christine. What makes you feel vulnerable?
Oh, quite a lot of things. Like the morning light for the moment. I'm sorry, I can't hear well. Just a second, I just set the right settings.
Oh, Christine, there you are.
Okay. Here.
Yeah, keep going. We can hear you fine, Christine.
Okay, fine. So the question was, what makes you feel vulnerable? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny because with the lockdown thing we've been in since last February or so, I felt quite not vulnerable inside my house. It was a good time, and then we came out in June here in May, and then it was like having everybody and the whole world around you just at the same time, and this made me feel vulnerable. And now we're back inside, so I feel a bit better.
It's terrible way to feel.
Yeah. Well, that's I think that's a pretty extreme situation, and I felt like that when we came out. I was only doing things for myself, like going out to the mountain, taking pictures, making a lot of music, and didn't search quite to get with other people in real life. And then now we're locked down again in France since last month, and now I'm trying to think about it, and I will probably act different when we come out again in December.
All right, Christine, you can ask Andre a question. We've been following your journey to work, I think, Andre.
Hi. So, who I'm speaking to?
Hi there. Thank you. And welcome to my work.
So I know just a few of the people here, so I will ask just a very general question.
Shoot.
Do you like to do other things besides music, like things that that you put a lot of attention in?
Yeah, I'm actually a real sucker for salt reefing. So I have a couple of aquariums running.
Nice.
That takes up a bit of time.
I guess. And so, what attracts you? Like the colors, the different sorts of. Well, I don't know. I know very few things about that. So, well, what got you into that?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was possible. So I was diving, and a couple of guys out there told me that they had aquariums at home and they had that types of corals, and that really fascinated me. So I just wanted it.
Nice. That's a nice. There are a lot of well, when you get into something,
Yeah.
you really discovered so many things you didn't know before, and well, that's always. Sorry, I'm very speaking badly. Regardless the topic, well, it's so amazing to discover like millions of new things.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's all about the small stuff.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, Andre, we have been around everyone that's on the screen, I think. So you can ask anyone something, and then we'll just open up the floor and anyone can shout questions to anyone.
I think I'll ask Connor a question.
What's up, man?
Hi, Connor.
Hey, dude, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Perfect. I was kind of wondering, just I've been following your Instagram, and I wonder for you what comes first, the riff or the tone? Because you know when you get that stank face from the tone, does it make you play in a certain way?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I think nearly all the time I get the tone first. Sometimes that can be like a detriment because I literally spend like 2 or 3 hours, you know, like just dialing in like the mids and stuff. But I think with any of the neural plugins, as some of you guys will probably know as well, it only takes like 5 minutes to get a really good tone. But then after those 5 minutes, I like to spend even longer. Like, it's so annoying, but I shouldn't do it. But yeah, I get the tone first, and then I'll film the take, and then so I'm recording into Logic, and I'll be filming as well. And what I'll do after that is I sync everything up in a video editor. I use Premiere Pro, which is Adobe's like video editor. And I'll just take out the camera audio because we don't. Sometimes you might have seen like a few of my videos I leave in the camera audio because it's like more of like a raw kind of thing. But like for the product demos and like demo tunes that I do, I tend to like mix it as if it was a real song. So I'm tracking 2 guitars. I'll film one take of like a riff, and then I'll film the second take, and then just use both. So yeah, the tone comes first, I think, most of the time. Yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. Yeah. Otherwise, if I was doing like how some people reamp guitars, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to write riffs if I didn't have like the tone. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you get a good tone. I don't know about you, and then the riffs just come. Like you get like a crushing tone or something. You're like, yes, and you get like this wicked riff just because of the tone mainly. So yeah, man. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool, man.
Thank you.
Well, Hans Olof, you appeared on the screen. Here's your chance to ask anyone anything.
Very good. You hear me? Hello?
Yes, you're on.
Oh, thanks. Let's see. I would like to ask Adam, how about the practicing? How much time do you spend just noodling, and how much time do you spend on like dedicated practice for scales or something like that? I think you're on mute.
You're on mute, Adam.
Is that better? Can you hear me? Can
Yes.
you hear me? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. My space bar wasn't working. But yeah, I would say I spend most of my free time noodling. Like, because, you know, if I'm just chilling, watching YouTube or whatever, I'll just have a guitar in my hands, and that is a nice thing about Strandberg. I mean, they're just so comfortable to sit with for hours on end. But as far as dedicated practice, I try to spend at least a couple hours or a few hours every day, whether it be just running scales or trying to come up with a new, arpeggio idea or just new picking technique. And then, a little more time if I'm trying to learn a new song or prepare for a particular, tour or video shoot, etc. So it does vary a bit, but I would say any free chance I have, like I'm going to be sitting with a guitar doing something. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for the question. Cool.
All right, next question. Who wants to go?
How was Scotland, Adam?
Oh, Scotland was great. I love it. I'll probably be back over there over Christmas for a few months. For anybody who doesn't know, which I don't know why a lot of you would, but I have a fiance who is Scottish, and we're trying to get through the visa process. We were so close, and then, of course, the world shut down, and that put our visa on ice for a bit. So spending as much time over there as possible. But Scotland's beautiful. I mean, Scottish people, Scottish food, Scottish scenery, just all absolutely breathtaking. So, yeah, I love it over there. Cool.
All right.
I've got a question
Do you
for
like,
Jack.
I guess,
Ooh,
Oh, yo, how you doing, man?
good. Have you ever done any voice work? It might just be because you've got a good mic, but your voice sounds really fucking sick right now.
Cheers, mate. Do you know the amount of people that have said, "Oh, is it what's it called? ASMR?"
Yeah. Have you ever done like voiceover or something?
No, do you know? I think I'd be worried that people wouldn't understand what I'm saying. To be totally honest, mate, with this accent. Yeah, could be an interest.
You could do like local Sainsbury's ads at least, or something like that.
It'd probably be more successful than the music, to be fair. But yeah, no, it's something that I've wondered about. A few people have said, why don't you look at, like narrating audio books and things like this? Like, it's just, like I say, if they can understand the accent, perfect. But I'm sure a lot struggle.
If anyone cares when I die and you're still alive, I'd like you to narrate my biopic.
That's a deal. That's a deal.
Yes.
Question for you,
Thank you.
Plini, actually. That's we
Sure.
can throw one back. Like, do you have any any rituals that surround like your writing process? Like, do you find yourself going out for walks more, or do you find is there anything in particular that you like to do when you going through your writing process on a daily basis, or is it just see how the day goes?
There's a lot of see how the day goes. I can't remember who I heard say this, but I agree 100% that the creative side of the brain needs like a large amount of time in one go, whereas whatever the other side is that some of us use sometimes, whatever that's called, can sort of dig into a task for 10 minutes at a time and work like just as well. So I find like mixing and some of the production stuff, like playing with different layers, is something I can do for an hour and be effective. But being creative is like I need at least half a day clear with no obligations, or it becomes pretty useless. Even if it's like I've got a dinner and it's 10 a.m. and I know I've got 8 hours, even just the fact that something's looming in the near future somehow ruins my ability to be creative. And I think that's probably why I've never been able to write music on tour, because there's always something about to happen.
Yep.
Whoever wants to, please chime in with like your thoughts on the space you need to be in to be creative.
Well, I definitely identify with that writing on tour like perspective, because my bandmates, You know Joey and stuff. They're all very regimented, like gung ho. Joey's always like, all right, we're gonna write on this next tour. We're gonna sit in the back of this van or bus with my MIDI keyboard and we're gonna write. And I'm like, okay, man. And it never happens because it's kind of impossible to get in that space, like you say. I also need like an entire block of several hours to think I can accomplish anything creative. Yeah, I think that's just how it goes sometimes.
Even practice just to chime in.
I definitely need days of lead time leading up to being creative. Just having some not very hectic, like the Salon model probably took like 3 years to design, but the actual working time was 2 hours in one morning.
It's about when it all comes together, you know?
Yeah, it's just finding that quiet space in your mind where you can like let go.
Have any of you read the book This Is Your Brain on Music by the neuroscientist Dan Levitin?
Heard of it, haven't read it.
It kind of deals with a lot of this, and definitely I think creative tasks, they require space, time, but also a lot of energy for some reason. And I feel you fully that even when there's something scheduled for much later in the day, it throws me off and I can't explain or fathom why. But I definitely feel you on the space requirement and recommend that book to everyone. It's a brilliant look at how the brain works.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I get anxious sometimes and something looming later in the day. It just makes me like the anxiety of that just takes me out of a creative free space. I don't know.
Freeze, isn't it? Very much, I think. There's nothing less inspiring though. It's interesting. I find, I don't know about you guys, but even like menial tasks like changing strings when you're on tour become like a thing that you will put off. Like there's nothing less inspiring than a hotel room that looks the same as everywhere you've been the days before. Like I remember that's definitely something that, if you were at home, changing strings is something you'd do in 2 seconds, but when you're on tour, it feels like a massive effort to take the strings even out the gig bag sometimes. I don't know about you guys, but yeah.
There are days where the whole band will want to go out for lunch and I'm like, oh, I can't, I got to change strings. That's so silly.
Priorities.
Ola, I have a question for you, if that's all right.
Sure.
You recently celebrated, I think it was your 10th anniversary. You had those okay, cool. Seeing as you've obviously watched your company flourish, I mean, you've got a bunch of people here who are like essentially just praising you over and over. What design, what guitar is essentially like the most representative or the pinnacle of everything that you've done? Like, what are you most proud of that you have done?
Good question. I mean, the bone design was the first one. That's the one that kind of came to me, and I think that went through the most like, well, I guess it wasn't even a structured process, but it was at least something that was elaborated on over a long period of time with some kind of intent, even though it wasn't. I guess my mind was more open when I designed the Bowden model because I had no intentions other than like designing a guitar for me. And I had no intent to start a business or making many of them. But I gotta say that the Salon model, like every time I see like a YouTube clip or something of someone holding, I can see partial Telecaster. I'm like, oh, is it a Bowden or is it a Salon? So I'm proud of that one, even though it's kind of it's my homage to the Telecaster by all means. So it's a little bit of a ripoff of someone else's design, but yeah, I'm happy with that.
Would you say that's more or less because like you've applied what you had in concept for so long to something that inspired you, and it's essentially the fusion of both, and obviously representative of your own design?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah. No, I can't pick a favorite. Most of you have seen the Varberg design, which isn't really in production either. But that's another one that I elaborated in my mind for years, and that kind of went on. That was at the time when the notion of Strandberg becoming an actual business had been formed, and I deliberately kept this quiet to leave the Bowden design at the center of attention. So there's been some of that going on also over the years, that I get all these ideas, but I have to hold back to not confuse the world, if you will, since the world is watching nowadays. But it's
really cool.
We're lucky enough to not have a session back to back, so I'm going to let this overrun a minute or two. But let me just pose that question to some of you artists that also have the world watching. Does that hold you back sometimes? Do you have to consciously really keep things secret? How does that impact your work?
I guess for me personally, a lot of it comes down to, if it's something I'm personally working on, happy to share things early just because I can't help myself. But a lot of times it's if we're working on a new album or song and I've been learning the riff and I want to post it, I have to just make sure all the guys are okay with that because I don't want to step on any toes. But yeah, and then, it's just, you got to make sure the quality of content is high. And that's probably why I don't post as much as I should, because I put too much time into my videos, as a lot of us do. But yeah, that's my answer, I suppose.
Yeah,
that's a question. I have a question for Paul. If you can hear me, Paul, do you have any news that you can share about the stuff you're working on? Because I know some things that people don't, and I wonder what your take is on this. Because, yeah.
Well, I'd rather keep it quiet, just because it's been so many layers, as you know, to this whole thing, and they're still going. Yeah, I'd rather kind of make it a surprise, just let people hear it from without knowing what's coming, kind of thing. And in terms of that previous question, I tend to be pretty private just about process. You go through different phases, but lately I just feel so insular in a cave of the work that it feels like creating a kind of container environment, for a record, where you're just in this space and you peep out once in a while and see what's going on. I mean, I remember at one time telling Rahul, who you introed me to, a friend that does marketing, I was like, I think I'm going to have to post something saying that I'm going to be offline until this record's done. And somehow I've managed to stay fairly active, considering how engulfed I am at this point. But yeah, it really is a personal world, and it feels very container-like, and then you just, it's like creating an intimacy with the work, it just feels so raw and naked and intimate and vulnerable, really. And so there's a lot of terror, and then you share it with everybody, and you're seen and you go, oh shit, everybody sees me now. Like, you know, you're going through that soon, I guess. You know, you've released some songs and got some music coming out. But yeah, it's different for everybody, but it is a very personal process for me, writing and getting into words, especially, and trying to kind of tell the truth, you know, just be transparent as much as you're capable of. It's a whole thing. So yeah, but it's exciting, and the record is cool, and I'm excited about it. You know, there's a lot of good stuff happening. We should definitely chat, you know, because there's parallels, obviously.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing all your secrets.
All right, everyone, it's time to wrap up. But everyone that has the guitar handy, go and get it, and we'll just finish with everyone holding their guitar up to the camera. I'm such a fool that I didn't prepare, so I need to leave the room to get one. I'll be right back.
And while he's gone, does anyone realize that we have 2 Plinis on screen right now? Find the second Plini.
Oh, there we go. There he is, up there.
Finishing shot. Oh, there we go. We're all looking beautiful. Thank you so much for participating in StrandCon and the Artist Extravaganza of today. Hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly did. It was worth getting up early for. Feel free to join the showroom track a little bit later today, and I guess in about an hour and a half we're starting up again. Yeah.
Yeah, so just want to say thank you, Ola, for organizing this, for allowing us to connect with everyone. Thanks to COVID for creating such a strange opportunity for all of us. Thanks to all the artists for taking time out of your days to work, you know, to just do this for us as well, to allow us to connect to you. Thanks, Plini, for the amazing album coming out, and looking forward to all the other artists' amazing music as well. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's been great.
Well said. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
See you all soon. Stay
Hey,
safe.
guys. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
See ya, Plini.